Okay, we're going to start out by securing a number 4 stainless steel hook into the vise. I use a TMCO 811S in the size 4 in the stainless steel. Next we're going to wrap it with some pink thread. Try to make a nice neat wrap over the whole shank of the hook. Use my scissors, trim off the tag end, leave that guy there, tie this up, work my way back to the front of the fly, leave about that much off of before you tie in your bead chains. Putting on my eyes now. I'm using a size medium bead chain eye. This is where you can really kind of experiment with your gotcha. You can use lead eyes, you can use bigger size bead chain, smaller bead chain, however you want to do it, and you're going to want it in varying rates depending on where you're fishing and whatnot. Make lots of figure 8 wraps around the eye. I do a couple around the top like this just to make sure that they don't move. I don't like to use a lot of glue on my flies, just in case the fish can smell them. There. Eyes are fastened. Okay, there's what you should have right now. I've zoomed in a little bit for folks. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, next step, we've got our Mylar braid here. We're going to take that. This is what's going to be the tail of the fly. I usually put it against the hook shank, so I've got about that much. And I'm going to put it back, so I know I want my tail to be about the size of the hook shank. Just depends on who you ask, but then I'll cut it about right there. So it's about, I'm going to tie it off right behind the tail. So I take that much of my Mylar, keeping it measured there. I'm going to take my scissors and clip it. And this is actually one of the things that took me a while to figure out with this. You're gonna want to take the cottony piece out of the Mylar. So I'm gonna pull it like that. I'm gonna, if you can see this, I'm gonna pull that cotton right out of there like that. Take this is gonna be your, it's gonna form your tail. Put that right behind the eye right there. You can always make it shorter, but you can't make it longer. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. We'll end up trimming that back as well. And here we go here. Okay. There. Now that'll serve as your tail. I'm not sure you can see that whole length. That's what it looks like. Next we're going to add on this body, which is the Mylar braid right here. Put it right there. I'm going to wrap it up so that I've got to build up a little bit of a body here. So as you can see, it's going to go up the shank like this. Doesn't have to be totally neat, but you want it nice and snug against the body there. And it'll build you up a little something there. Okay. Take this, I'm just going to wrap it. Always wrap away from yourself in fly tying, whether it's a gotcha or a nymph or whatever you're tying for trout streams or for big tarpon. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Actually, for this one, I'm going to go over the eye once. It's kind of up to you. It doesn't really matter a whole lot. We're going to drop that piece. We're going to finish off that right there. Just make sure it's secure. Clip off your Mylar. Okay, this is where I like the rotary vise. Don't actually use this feature a whole lot, but I'm going to use it here because I'm going to tie the wing on. I use this for my Klausers and what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. Okay, and here's my tan craft fur. We're going to cut a little bit of this and give this guy a tail. You can see I always take it and kind of measure it, pre-measure before I clip. So there I am right there. I know to clip right at that point. I'm going to tie this piece in here. I think you're going to be careful if you don't want to cover up your eye. So one of the worst things you want to do is get on the boat trying to get your fly on and you can't tie it because your eye's been covered up. It's got a little snout on him too. I'm going to go ahead and pull this behind here one time. You don't have to do this. This is just, I like doing this. It gives it a little bit of flair. Once it gets in the water, it's going to pretty much do its thing anyway. So now it's kind of flared up on me a little bit here. Now, take your flash. Again, measure it out a little bit. I like just a couple pinches, depending on who you talk to. Some people like more, some people like less. Probably got about 10 strands right there. I'm going to measure it. Actually, these aren't even because I've been tying a few other flies with this strand of flash here, but I'll make it right. Those are pretty even at the tips. See, the tips are pretty even there. Put this. I'll put it right there. I'm gonna cut it. No, I know to cut it right there. There's that. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna tie that on. Build up a little head there. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and build up the head here on this. Wait, it's got a nice pink nose. And we're gonna whip finish. So I do, I use my extra fingers here. 2, 3, 4, 5. One extra for good luck. Pull him on. You want to pull it down, but you don't want to break the thread. If you break the thread, you're probably going to have some trouble there. And I'm going to flip it back around. And there's our finished fly. Now here's your tail. Remember we talked about this before. You're going to gently kind of pull on him. As you'll see, just keep working this guy out and tail comes undone. It's a little bit harder to do this with the camera here, but usually it'll come right out. It makes that nice, that where you get the nice tail. And if you want the tail to be a little bit shorter than this, you can just trim it up. If you want the tail a hair bit longer, you can do that too. And there you have it, finished McVeigh's Gotcha. So good luck and lots of bonefish.